people who work in the areas of international espionage, counterterrorism, money laundering, human trafficking, and narcotics know that Denver, Colorado is the absolute center for a criminal network that involves the Bush family, these individuals, and others, that circles to a large extent around corporations run by the individuals that Stu has worked with, along with Bank of America. As a matter of fact, Pakistani intelligence has in their possession $2.2 billion U.S. dollars in electronic security briefcases, an entire container of money that was picked up heading into Afghanistan. They're holding that much. All of it says, each one of the briefcases says $2 million property of Bank of America, heading to pay off the drug lords of the Northern Alliance. Was intercepted.
Interesting. Afghanistan, the only reason we're really there, in your opinion, is what? The drugs?
When we arrived, Afghanistan was turning out between 80 and 100 tons of opium paste a year. Within 5 years of the U.S. being there, we had built a series of heroin processing facilities. The heroin processing facilities are owned by members of the United States Congress, prominent members of and they are prominent members of the Republican Party, including, two are U.S. senators. One of the senators, however, is neither a member of the Republican nor Democratic Party, but an independent, but I won't give his name, although there's only one person that is an independent in the Senate. I still won't give the name. The chemicals used for processing the $80 billion crop is being shipped into Afghanistan, along with our military supplies, and the chemicals are being shipped in the name of a member of the head of a key congressional committee who owns a series of establishments within Afghanistan, dry cleaning plants. And these dry cleaning plants, like people in Afghanistan use dry cleaning, not to disparage people there. I've been to Afghanistan and have many good friends there. There's no attempt to hide any of this. This is where 98% of the world's heroin comes from. Now, we know in Russia picked up 300 bricks last week alone. Now, we knew those were being carried over in trucks, but the rest of it is going out in long-range aircraft. And I'm sorry, but last time we checked, the Taliban didn't have any planes. Maybe they're renting them from the CIA. I don't know. Now, I could tell you that private aircraft contracted to the Central Intelligence Agency picks up loads of heroin under the guise of rendition flights of political prisoners, flies these to Kosovo, to Camp Bondsteel, a U.S. base in the right off the border with Albania, and there the partners in the world heroin trade, the Albanian mafia, the most powerful criminal group, the most dangerous criminal group in the world, works in partnership with rogue organizations within not just the CIA, but other groups, including and not limited to most of the former staff of President Bush, key members of his administration, and those surviving members, and this is that date back to the Reagan administration. President Reagan had one thing to say, and I have this from, his intelligence chief, Lee Wanta, who you can go to the Reagan Library, pull out his Reagan's calendar, and see how often Wanta met with Reagan. It was many times. It's a calendar, by the way, where Ollie North is never on the calendar, and there's no sign that President Reagan ever met Oliver North, by the way, or so many of the other people that tried hiding behind him. But Reagan regularly told people is that no one within his inner circle is allowed to talk to George Herbert Walker Bush. That Reagan said he was forced to take this person on, didn't trust him, refused to work with him, and that no one was allowed to pass any information to him.
Why was he forced to take him on? I've heard similar stories.
One would have thought that rather than having a displaced New Englander or supposed Texan or whatever, would have given him the strength he needed. See, Reagan, first of all, Reagan had two victories anyway. Now, you have to remember, though, that he was in an office for 60 days before a Bush family friend put two bullets in him.
Right. Yeah, and Neil Bush, Hinckley's brother, was at Neil Bush's birthday party that night after they put two bullets in him. Yeah.
And we could say that the Hinckley family are, and this would be quoting Webster Tarpley, but the Hinckley family is central to a group that is called the Mormon Mafia, and that the Mormon Mafia, which includes the Romney family, have a long history in Mexico. That in 1884, the Romney family was stripped of citizenship by the Edmunds Act for polygamy, fled the United States to avoid prosecution, stayed in Mexico for 26 years. That Mitt Romney's father, George Romney, re-entered the U.S., that the family never went through the required legal repatriation and loyalty oaths, which they were required, meaning that the Romney family has never reassumed American citizenship. Never. That they consider themselves citizens of, and this is for you people who love historical issues, the Kingdom of Deseret. The family had renounced its citizenship in perpetuity, had its citizenship officially stripped by law, had renounced its citizenship when it had left the United States, and no one in the family had reassumed citizenship at any time. Romney, the lifelong associate of Carlos Salinas, former president of Mexico, and cartel head, by the way. That was his business partner. That's who he went to Harvard with, by the way. They met each other at Harvard, Carlos Salinas. And FBI files indicate that they have spent much time together. So one of the things that actually caused Romney to distance himself, this according to FBI sources, from his active participation in Bain Capital, who, according to FBI sources, is sitting at $1.6 trillion, 1,000 billion, in drug money, in thousands of numbered bank accounts in the Caymans, in Switzerland, Dubai, and elsewhere. And they are central to the money laundering schemes and are, frankly, the bankers for the Bush cartel.
Yes.
Well, there's a Bush cartel.
Yes.
The Bush family. Stu, why don't you tell our friends here, and this is one of the things I tripped over, tell them what Jeb Bush does for a living.
Narcotics.
Who he really is and what he really does for a living.
He's a narcotics dealer. That's basically what it is. Hollywood Air Force Base.
How big?
Huge. It's all tied up with these systems of Dallas, Texas, flying the C-130s in here.
Who's his family?
Ollie North, Pier 66, Miami, hauling drugs in consistently with Ollie North and his submarine company from Colombia. And who else is tied to that? We got the Oklahoma City bombing player, which was the guy that had the gun shop, has his yacht going in and out of there at Pier 66 continuously.